So the Held Apart unscripted improv and sketch comedy show began in April as a response to the pandemic and being shut down. We have a troupe of about 10 people right now, and when the pandemic started shutting things down in March, I think we, like a lot of folks, thought, wow, well, this is pretty heavy, but this is temporary. We should be back in a month or so and ready to perform for our fans who are wonderful and extremely loyal and such a community. So we started Held Apart in response to one, wanting to provide something for the community in the really dark time, and two, for ourselves, because we were struggling like everybody else. And, the idea of sitting around and hoping and praying and waiting to be able to perform again, it wasn't going to cut it. We needed something to keep ourselves occupied too. So Richard, who was another instructor at Held2gether, to be honest, he put together this brainchild. He contacted me about it and said, "What do you think?" And with me and my business being shut down, I was a little depressed at first. And I said, "Yeah, that sounds great. I just don't know if I can take charge of it." He said, "I'll do it. I need this for me right now. I think we all need this." And so we created a pitch meeting and started pitching sketches that we would be able to do on Zoom, ideas. And in the beginning, most of them were improvised except for some song parodies we had. And we put them together, and Richard edited them beautifully. And the response from our first episode was incredible. People loved it and wanted to see more of it, and they were so grateful for being engaged. We did a variety of sketches, mostly character-based or parody-based on music. And then we started getting excited about the next week, and everybody started throwing their kind of 2 cents in. And we had more great response, and people need to watch it because you can see what we're capable of on doing on Zoom, and how many wonderful characters can be created from this. And we've started to incorporate special guests now, too, that we have a second season. We were hoping not to have a second season. We were hoping everything would be open. So we kind of stopped in May, but then started up again in July. And I think people will get a real kick out of it, that we're really going through a Saturday Night Live type format where we meet on Monday, come up with pitches and sketches, record them all week, and we're done, and the show is on Saturday, which is kind of how they work really quickly. So I think I want people to just relax, have a good laugh, but also see what's possible under these circumstances, that we can't give up. We gotta keep stretching ourselves and providing joy and laughter for ourselves and each other, even through this time. So while there's nothing like doing improv in person, I think what I've learned from this is that we've created another kind of facet for performing and Held2gether, and I think the virtual thing is going to stay and complement the live format once we are all ready to go again.
So Held2gether offers a variety of different classes. We monthly will have a free workshop where typically it's Darren and I will lead. When, in the before times, before COVID, we would have them monthly in person at our theater in Bixby Knowles. And those would range anywhere from like 12 to 28 people that would show up. And it was really cool. Those are it's 2 hours of just introducing the basics of improv. And then we have our level 1 class, which I teach. And that is really all about laying down the foundations. We don't even really get to scene work until the last half of the class, because we're really focused on exercises that, stress acceptance, that stress adding information, that stress commitment. Commitment's a huge one. It's your all-in attitude towards something. And And then from there, we have just our school has grown so much. We have our level one, foundations. Level two is scene work. Level three is character work. And then we have a variety of different things that are covered under the improv umbrella. Long form clap-in improv, which is a different style. Narrative improv, which is creating longer stories. Um, uh, Musical improv, where you're creating improvised songs on the spot, either in like, here's a song I'm going to make up on the spot with our musical director Scott playing, or my favorite, we do fully improvised musicals, and we have classes that teach you how to do that. And those are basically, you get a word or a suggestion from the audience, and then you've got a full 2-act musical that happens after that. And that's, for somebody who loves musical theater but isn't really much of a singer, that fulfills my Broadway star desires. And so those are just some of the classes that we offer. And we have different things. We started offering stand-up comedy classes earlier this year. Those have been really awesome. We've got a great instructor from Second City, Tim Stoltenberg, who approaches stand-up comedy from an improv background. And I don't really have a lot of experience with stand-up, but I feel really supported in his classes when I take them. And those have been really a great way to stretch those improv muscles a little bit. And then our shows, in February of 2020, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary of performing free monthly shows at Hot Java down in Long Beach off of Broadway and Junipero. The school started 11 years ago. And after the first year or so of classes, this is before I joined, but the students were ready for performing, and Hot Java sort of opened the door to Held2gether. And 10 years later, we're still doing it. And that was really, really incredible. We were super excited in February to kick off our 10-year anniversary and to see how we could push ourselves even more, in 2020. And then, of course, 2020 happened. And we're adapting. And now we've really adapted to an online platform. And the first week that we went into the pandemic, into like the quarantine or the lockdown, that first week we produced an hour and a half pre-recorded improv and sketch comedy show that turned into a weekly show that we've done. We've produced 14 episodes, each episode either an hour or more, full of improv and some pre-written stuff, some musical parodies, like some song parodies, music videos, and we've really pushed. And that's been a huge source of joy during the last 6 months, where joy is sort of in low supply. And the troupe really coming together in its current iteration, just the show wouldn't happen without them. It wouldn't. Everyone's commitment, everyone's yes and attitude. They just were so on board to make this happen. And and we just finished our second season of the show Held Apart. And this year we are launching season 3 of Held Apart, the improv and sketch comedy show, which is available on YouTube. Now we're looking at, all right, we also want to see what else can we do as a troupe to not only push ourselves, because, we're all in our houses, not able to connect with each other in real life, but we want to figure out not only how can we keep these muscles going for us, but for our community. And that's what makes the biggest difference, I think, is that there's a lot of performers out there who perform for themselves. And that's, I've been that performer, and I don't think that's wrong. That's not a wrong thing. But what makes me proud of being a part of Held2gether is that there really isn't a sense of self first. It's let's put this show on for our community. This last season, we got so many special guests from our community to be involved in our show, and we do it for them. We get to every Saturday night when the show comes up, we all go onto the YouTube live chat function and really just connect as a community, and that's what makes Held Together for me just a really special place to be.
Hey, if you want to learn more about Held Together Improv for Life, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/HELD2 number 2 gether. You can also look at held2gether.com and sign up for our newsletter and see all of the happenings that are going on.
If taking improv classes with Held Together sounds like something that you might want to try, I recommend checking out our website. That's www.held2gether.com. That's held, the number 2, gether.com. You can also check out our Held Apart show on YouTube at youtube.com/held2gether. And you can also find us on all the social media pages if you search Held Together on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.